years, there's been an increase in people travelling abroad for cosmetic surgery, as treatments are often thousands of pounds cheaper than in the UK.
However, new figures reveal hundreds of patients have required corrective procedures on the NHS after botched surgery overseas left them with sometimes life-threatening complications, really quite bad.
Yeah, and mother and daughter Jacqui and Tracy know this all too well after they became seriously ill following a tummy tuck they'd had in Turkey earlier this year. Now, they join us now alongside Dr. Plastic Surgeon, Dr. V. Now, good morning to you all. You can totally understand why people do this, you know. There is a huge saving to be made, but sometimes that saving is never, ever worth it. But just explain to us why you wanted to get this surgery, both of you, first.
Well, I think initially my daughter had decided she was going to have this mummy makeover because she'd lost 5 stone in weight. And it was only a few weeks before she went that I thought, well, if I'm going out there anyway with her, I might as well take advantage and have surgery myself. Not because it was just a case of having surgery, but because I felt I needed it. And I just needed a confidence boost.
What was on the list to get done? What did you go over to do?
So I had a tummy tuck, a breast lift, and I was also supposed to be having monsplasty and liposuction, but he decided not to do it while I was still under. He just decided I wasn't going to do those procedures. Yeah.
How did you find the surgeon?
We'd only met him.
We met him
a
few hours before surgery, really.
Hold on, you didn't have a pre-check? You never had...
Not with him, no. We went through a third party and we thought it was because of the language barrier, didn't we?
I mean, we thought that was quite normal.
Right.
Because we'd heard a lot from other women that had had surgery and gone through the same process.
So is this your first cosmetic surgery that you've had? Right, OK, so you wouldn't have known any different anyway?
No, we were none the wiser. Really. Yeah, looking back.
What was the main driving force in going over there? Was it financial? Was it waiting list?
It was financial.
Cost, yeah.
So what's the difference?
Half the amount.
Yeah.
So in the UK, it would have been how much?
I think it was 13,000 I'd got quoted in the UK for me.
And mine was 10, but I paid 4.
So 13,000...
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is.
And I paid 5,700.
So 13,000 to £5,000.
Yeah.
And how did you find the surgeon? Was it through, like, a third party?
I'd gone onto these sites where people had had surgeries with him and had recommended him. We did a lot of research. Well, we thought we'd done a lot of research, but clearly not enough. Did
they have really good photos on their social and then before and afters, and you were sold on that?
Well, we've since learned that people are sort of forced to take down
bad
comments.
Reviews. Yeah,
so you're only ever going to see the good.
People are bullied, they're threatened, and they're also paid to take them down. We know that because we've spoken to people, you know, that have had to do that because they feared.
What went wrong? And what was the timescale?
Mine wasn't as bad as yours. Mine was that he'd neglected to do certain surgeries, which then aesthetically I didn't get what I wanted, didn't get what I paid for. I also had some necrosis to one of my nipples. That's now healed. Yours, on the other hand, was a lot worse, wasn't it?
What is necrosis, sorry?
The skin dies. The surgeon that I saw here for corrective surgery said that he'd just left the nipple off too long.
So you've got no feeling there now?
No.
Gosh, and yours was more severe?
So, yeah, mine was. So I had a tummy tuck, but I've got a gallbladder scar that kind of goes diagonally across my tummy. And I didn't know until I came back and saw other surgeons, but I was told here in the UK the surgeon out there should never have agreed to operate because the blood flow there was no blood flow, it was compromised, so the flesh died.
So when you went over to have the surgery, was there anything inside you thinking, this is not right here?
Yeah, when I was being wheeled down for my operation, they came to get me and they were injecting me in the hallway, the stuff to put you out. And
In the hallway?
In the hallway, before I'd even got into the elevator. And as I was going into the operating room, they were wheeling you out. Yeah. So it was like one in, one out. But at that point, they'd already injected me and I was sort of half asleep.
Like a total factory line?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was.
You see, in hindsight, it's easy to reflect on it all, but I'd imagine at the time you thought you'd done everything right. Dr V, you've heard this kind of story before, I take it?
Yeah, sadly, and sadly also more and more. I mean, there's so many red flags, right, when you now, like, sort of in hindsight, listen to Tracy and Jacqui's story. from obviously the point where they like traveled to Turkey and they'd never even seen their surgeon. They never even sort of spoken to them, to obviously, I mean, yeah, language barrier where expectations managed. They know about alternatives to treatment. Jacqui's gallbladder scar, yeah, of course, that's going to compromise the sort of vascularization, the blood supply to the sort of skin flap that we need to pull down when we perform an actual tummy tuck. There's so many red flags here. And it's obviously for us, it's always easy, and for the sort of general public to now obviously watch Jacqui and Tracy's story from home and say like, yeah, I would have never done so. But obviously cost of living is sort of everything's getting more expensive. Sort of the world's in our back pocket, so it's easier for people to travel abroad. They did their due diligence, they thought. They went on Instagram, sort of social media, checked reviews, looked on Facebook, and all looked okay or good.
But also, this surgery knows what it's doing. They're trying to entice you over. You know,
exactly,
you know.
But I think it's just, in my opinion, it's just a commodity to the surgeons. That's all we are, a commodity.
What would you say to anybody thinking about getting cosmetic surgery abroad now?
Don't do it.
Don't do it,
I'd have
absolutely
waited
not.
if I'd have known now.
You would have had it in the UK, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have waited and
100%.
saved up.
And Dr V, what would you say to anybody thinking about travelling abroad for cosmetic surgery? Because it is so cheap and sometimes it does look very good.
Yeah, it's so cheap and it does look very good, and it's all well when everything goes all right. You hear sort of success stories, but when it doesn't go well, it can turn into an outright nightmare. Where obviously, I mean, also one of the red flags is that I heard Tracy and Jacqui were sent back to the UK 9 days after surgery.
Yeah.
They got a fit-to-fly certificate after major surgery, like a tummy tuck. You cannot underestimate sort of the strain that puts on your system. It's major surgery. So if patients see me in the UK, I perform tummy tucks on people, they cannot fly long haul, which Turkey is actually. It's a long haul destination. It's a good 4.5, 5 hours. You cannot fly because you're at severely sort of higher risk of deep vein thrombosis, blood clots, pulmonary embolism, yeah, name it. And it's just,
We're looking at you now and you look well and healthy, but, you know, I can see a drain sitting beside you there.
I mean,
so you're still fighting.
Yeah, I've had 2 lots
consequences
of
of this.
surgery since being back, and now I've got a vacuum therapy machine fitted to the wound to help it heal from the inside out, and I will need a skin graft once this comes off.
This is after how long?
This was 1st of April we had surgery, so yeah.
And are you recovered now, Tracy?
I've got some scar tissue on my breast and obviously I need corrective surgery. So, no, mentally not.
Right.
But physically I'm in a better position than you are, certainly, aren't I?
And what does your recovery look like now, Jacqui?
I mean, I'm going to be disfigured, obviously, because the scar isn't a nice thin line like it was supposed to be. That's what I signed up for. Yeah. You know, now I'll end up with a line with a kind of scar tissue like that.
I'm so sorry this has happened to you. I really am.
I'd like the bravery to come on.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for coming on. And thank you, Dr V. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much and good luck with your recovery.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck.